Hello.
Hello.
Happy podcast day.
Whee! Happy podcast day.
Podcast number 27.
27.
Huh?
27. That's Spanish for
Yes,
27.
no, I understand. I didn't think that it's 20.
27.
27, I guess. 26, 27. Yeah, okay. Anyway, we are The Scoop Weddings
Spanish
Unveiled.
101.
Tim Schouts, TLS Entertainment, your premier wedding DJ. And, of course, the ever-beautiful Brandy Harlan.
Hello.
Our non-retired. I should put that non-retired. I forgot to do that. Hold on. I'm going to fix that. Non-retired.
Just in case y'all need the talent.
Oh, there it is. Let's update
if
that
you need
quick.
me. You know where to find
There,
me.
it's updated now.
Okay.
How's it going?
It's good. It's good for a podcast Monday. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's typically when we do podcasts
yeah,
now.
over Mondays.
Mondays.
Because I
And-
have Mondays off, so it makes it quite easy.
Yeah, and we're working on an Instagram page. We have a Facebook. We were just kind of going over that because we've been sharing everything through my business page, TLS Entertainment,
Yeah.
and then your personal page.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to find us on socials, it is The Scoop Weddings Unveiled.
That's right. On Insta and Facebook.
Yeah, look for us.
As soon as we we gotta figure out some
Well, I mean, it's up there.
it's there.
Right now,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have to sending you like the video clips or
Yeah.
like everything, so you
Yeah.
can do it. But
Because Meta is fun, people.
socials suck.
They do. It's like I don't know why it has to be so hard.
I don't either.
Yeah. Maybe that's why a lot of our vendor businesses, I've been seeing a lot of professionals that are in the event industry posting for social media managers because it's just hard and it's time consuming and trying to get it initially up and going.
They just make it so difficult. And I actually had so with Facebook, I tried to run ads a few years ago on Facebook, and I had actually one of my a previous couple, bride and groom. The groom is in marketing.
Okay.
And he solely does social media advertising. I was like, perfect. I would like to. And this is actually when I was just starting the bounce house, the bougie bounce house. So he was helping me with that. And so I gave him access. I gave him admin access. And somehow there was a glitch, a quote unquote glitch in the system after everything was said and done. And I've lost all access to run ads. I'm not an admin in my TLS. I can do things
So I
like on the Meta business side,
Mm-hmm.
but I can write posts and everything, but I can't do anything on the business side. And I've reached out to social media, and they're like, "Oh, there's a glitch," and there's nobody to talk to.
It's
you can't
a
talk.
glitch?
Yeah, there's a glitch because there are for some reason his name shows up 3 times, and when he signs into Facebook, like he's not even an admin anymore. One of his names is, but he isn't, and he's like, "What I don't know what's going on." And one of like the Facebook people that he knows that he works with, they're like, "Yeah, you're just going to have to reach out to Facebook and showcase that you are in fact the owner." I'm like, "Okay, so who do we send it to?" There's
Right.
nobody to send it to.
There isn't. That's the crappy
Facebook
part.
sucks
It does. And when I used to
when it comes to business.
Yeah, so
Horrible.
I did a lot of Facebook marketing when we had like the pages before it was Meta. And I
Yeah.
did that for like 3 or 4 companies on the side. I knew what I was doing, had it all down pat. Still to this day, when I log into Meta, I have Linens by the Sea. I have like 4 other companies. I have my DJ because I used to do some stuff for them.
For my DJ Entertainment?
Yeah.
Are they still around?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He does a lot of. He has started an irrigation company, so he
Yes.
has this one DJ that still does some things, and I think he still does and she still does the photo booth.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was doing I was doing Linens by the Sea. I was doing Mixins, my DJ, and one other company. So I was like 4 or 5 companies. Oh, and Roger Slater from Slater Photography. I was helping him out with all of his like marketing, Facebook, and all of that. How about every single one of their business accounts? Like I can use any of them to run ads.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I shouldn't have access
Well,
to
yeah,
all
because
that
you were given
anymore.
access at the beginning as an admin, so therefore
I haven't-
it'll transfer over. Yeah, I don't.
I haven't been at Linens by the Sea in like
Doesn't matter.
10 years.
Doesn't matter.
And I'm like, how do I get rid of that? Like, I feel integrity wise, I'm like, I don't like it that even being there. I feel like I have access.
We'll just reach out to them and be like, hey, can you just take, I mean, you can remove yourself, but just make sure that there is another.
I did, but their like account, their ad account is still an option.
Oh,
I'm sure the card information is not valid anymore because it's been so many years it's expired and whatnot.
Yeah.
But just like if I'm removed as the admin, I should not have access to the ad business, like the ad, because you get like your own, like it's almost like a 17-digit number, it feels like.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Account.
Yeah, that. Yep.
I have like 5 of them. I'm like,
well, I get it. I mean, I ended up finding a roundabout way outside of meta business. So I am running ads now. I know last podcast we talked about Wedding Wire and does Wedding Wire actually work? And I actually got my first booking through Wedding Wire.
Yay!
But I don't know how many people I've had contact me, and this is, I think, month 3, so I have 1 booking through Wedding Wire in 3 months as a featured.
The face.
So far the ROI is not great.
Okay, I said I would help you, and I need to set aside on a Monday when we don't have a podcast, or before the podcast, or a weekend. I can come over and we can.
No, you know what?
I'll help you.
It's not. I have everything pretty well set up.
But are you doing like the multiple emails over the course of 2 months? They should get probably 7 emails.
Okay,
and
well, again, I feel like it's when it comes to
months.
entertainment, anytime if I feel that within the first few, if I don't get them within the first few, then it's done. Like they've already reached out to somebody else. Now I do continue to reach out. I have multiple emails and touch points that I do on Wedding Wire.
Yeah.
And then just straight through their email.
Yeah.
If I get 0 response in the first 3, I probably send about 4 emails.
Okay.
And they get videos from me. They get all of the things, and I have really good videos.
You do.
If I get 0 response for any of them, all right, you're done. I'm not.
Why not trigger an email to go out, say 6 months before the wedding day, just one more time?
Because at that point,
I don't think
they most likely, I guarantee you, it's Wedding Wire. Do you know how many other entertainment companies there are?
I don't think they're picking that early. From my standpoint, they're not picking that early. It's like 6 to 8 months that they're picking entertainment, which is not right. But most of them probably don't have a planner, don't know what they're doing, are doing this on a shoestring budget, whatever. I mean,
well, in that case, I don't want to work with them.
Okay, not shoestring budget. But what I'm saying is they have to like work up to get the money. You know what I mean? Like they're like saving as they're buying and whatnot because they didn't listen to the podcast about budgeting that we did. But anyway, I'm just saying maybe slate it to send out an 8-month and a 6-month prior to their wedding day, and just prove me wrong. Just prove me wrong.
Try again. Once they reach out to me, and I will send. I'm going to. I'm not going to bombard you, but I will send emails. I will send a thank you for reaching out email, which is automatically sent, especially whenever they reach out to me via my website. And through Wedding Wire. Yeah. After that, I will send the personalized quote, and then also be like, "Hey, let's have a phone call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's chat." Because I know once I get them on the call, once I get them on the phone, 95% of the time, done deal.
Yeah, because what's there not to love about your personality?
Exactly.
It's like talking to your friend.
But on the flip side of that, they love me, and they're like, "We want you to be our DJ." I'm like, "Oh well, shit." I'm personally booked, but my team is amazing, and we're all uniquely different but equally awesome.
Yes, very true. So I get that.
But I send multiple emails. I reach out multiple times, and again, if I'm ghosted, by all means. And I even send like a funny email, like, "Hey,
sorry you missed the opportunity to book me?
No.
Do you send like a last email like, hey, just want to know, let me know, yes or no, whether or not you're still looking for an entertainment company?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do send that out.
Like,
but I also
like this is our last follow-up kind of thing, because I basically put it on them at the last email is like, sorry we weren't a good fit for you. If you're still looking for a venue, let us know. We may or may not have your date available still. We have booked up quite a bit since the last time we spoke or we emailed. So if you're still looking, let us know. If not, let us also know that you aren't in the market anymore. And then I archive them.
Yep. Well, let me see if I can find this darn email. Basically, I'm like, hey, it's like I haven't heard from you, and that tells you one of three things. One, you're extremely busy and haven't had the chance to look over everything or get back to us, which is completely fine. Two, you've chosen another DJ or entertainment company. If that's the case, please let us know. We'll stop bombarding you. Or three, you've fallen and you can't get up. If that's the case, please let us know so we can call 911 because I'm starting to worry. Please let me know ASAP. And I tell you, that email does exactly that. It makes them laugh. And I've had so many responses saying, oh my God, that was awesome.
Why not do a funny email in the beginning? Like, do it like a funny, like, video in your first email to them.
Well, no, because I want to be like, show them that I'm.
No, you could be professional, but if you threw a video in there of just like in your first email of like how awesome and a little bit of the blooper reel or whatever just makes you guys fun, because ultimately people just are like, I want a fun DJ company. Maybe that might get them from the jump a little.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
And it just not be dry because everybody's sending them probably like, let's talk.
Yeah.
Just like Josh said last week, right? And so I'm like, why not send some? Because you guys, you have that personality and you have that fun atmosphere. I would throw something really fun, like this is what your dance floor may look like if you don't book me. Crickets. And everybody's just standing around. Nobody's there. Well, I mean, something funny.
Yeah.
But
I do like the idea of the blooper thing. I actually was thinking of doing that because, all right, so I have 2 ads running in the DMV region up in Maryland, Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah, I saw the one that Carlos.
I just did that one. So I have a buddy of mine who actually used to work here at the TV station in the digital department, and so he's been kind of helping me and guide me on the social media side. And he said, so I have actual ads running, and then he said, I want you to do a video post for the DMV region specifically with the video, and then boost it. And I was like, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm doing for the next 2 weeks. But there was also a video that I wanted to post. I don't know if you remember on Instagram, I posted a video. It was basically like a blooper reel.
Yes.
And I was
shot at Mixins.
Well, some of it was shot at Mixins.
Yeah.
But I mean, not the whole thing, but the actual, like, the reel itself was announcing that we were,
when you were expanding to the
when
DMV
we were expanding,
area.
I was like, guess what?
And Carlos was trying to
we were
get the
expanding.
words right.
Yeah.
Yes, that was hilarious.
And it was basically Carlos trying to say, hey, I'm Carlos with TLS Entertainment.
Yes, it was like the simplest sentence.
Yeah. And so we just did a whole blooper
he was so
reel.
Nervous.
I did a whole blooper reel, and then I added some blooper, or just like, test. 1, 2, 3, mic check. and then he like was looking at me like, is this running? And I was like, yeah, dude. He's like, oh. And just, it was just like, and then at the end, it was the final rendition of, hey, I'm DJ Carlos with TLS Entertainment. And, we're expanding to Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Northern Virginia. We look forward to partying with you. Whatever it was.
Yeah.
And that kind of like ended it. So I'm wanting to do something like that because I feel like that would be super cool or like super fun. They get to see the personality of Carlos.
Yeah.
Myself as well. And just like TLS in general, like TLS Entertainment. So
right. I like that.
Yeah. So
that's our take on Meta and socials.
Yeah. How do we get into that?
Because we are struggling with our own daggone one.
Yeah. I feel like everybody is, but you know what? Wedding Wire, it is what it is. Social media, unfortunately, we need it. We
do.
And we just have to adjust and conquer. And that's what we do.
By the next podcast,
I'm gonna
have this stuff.
I'm gonna be a shark when it comes to
it's gonna be done.
social media. I feel like I have it down. So
I think you're really good at all your videos and marketing and
the
stuff.
videos, like editing and
you do such a
everything.
great job of that.
I just need to get like an actual video person, like a content, like an actual content manager, to where they come out and shoot video at pretty much majority of my events, and then you just have them shoot video, and I'll do all the editing.
I would try checking out Ringling or one of the art schools or one of those around here close.
Yeah.
Like even some of the film schools, like the high schools, they have film crews and things of that nature too.
Yeah.
So I think they film for all the baseball games and stuff. They have a film crew that usually goes out to all the sporting events and football and baseball games. And so those are the people that are already shooting, and then they can come out and shoot fun stuff too.
Okay.
Like, not that football and baseball aren't fun,
Right.
but I mean, high school kids would love that for their resume.
True. But then we have to have them sign like a I will not drink at the wedding.
Yeah, that part.
There's that. But again, I mean, there's kids there in general at weddings, so that's probably not going to be
And that's really not on you. That's on the bar company serving them to card them. So
anyway, we digress. Anyway, we are on the socials now. So Facebook and Instagram, look up The Scoop Weddings Unveiled. We will be posting snippets from all of our shows on there so you guys can get caught up and, see what we're doing. So, and then you guys can send us suggestions or topics that you want us to talk about, or if you want us to do any, question and answers, that sort of thing.
Yeah, we can do some of that live too.
So,
but you have to make me a promise.
Okay.
You'll change the picture on.
Well, we got to get a picture.
Yeah, we do.
But until then.
It's my no.
We just gotta have you come to the photo booth, and we'll get a headshot at the photo booth.
That's right. That's what we did. I mean, I think
that was what that photo was from.
Photos, like take my photo and Photoshop it or something.
I don't have time to Photoshop.
It's not. I don't need that much work, Tim.
It's not you.
I know.
It's me.
All
right. Well,
all right, what's
again,
the topic?
Well, we're still in the summer.
Yes.
So there are no weddings.
None.
In Florida, anyway. None. Everywhere else in America is like booming with weddings. I know Carlos every single weekend right now. He's in the DMV region, and he's just every single Saturday he's booked. And actually, I'm up to I think like 6 or 7 events now booked, and we've got some coming up. So our first
3 in the last week since we talked. Get it, TLS.
And one of those bookings was from Wedding Wire.
Yay!
So, yeah. So anyway,
happy dance.
Yeah. So, but yes, for us here in Florida, it is slim pickings because it's so damn hot. We don't do a lot of events or weddings right now. But again, like I had mentioned in previous podcasts, for my team of DJs, we may not be doing weddings, but we are out in the community. We are at bars. We are at clubs.
Wasn't Carolina at the Point this past weekend?
She was at the Spanish.
The Point SRQ.
Evie's at Spanish Point.
Yeah.
Which is down in Nokomis, right on the water. Beautiful. If you're looking for an amazing sunset and some decent food, some pretty good food, go to Spanish Point or Evie's at Spanish Point, right on the water. It's beautiful. You can just sit down, have a drink, listen to music. It's just a cool vibe.
I like that.
Yeah. And then apparently I'll be there in August. But Friday is coming up this Friday. I will be at Molly's downtown if you want to come out.
Friday. I'm not in town.
Of course you're not. Why would you be?
Because I always am home.
Well, no, because every time that I DJ at Molly's, you're like, oh, no, I'm out of town. Anyway, so.
I have a bachelorette party to go to this weekend in Savannah.
That's fair.
That is very fair.
So I will be, I will be DJing at Molly's this Friday, actually for the next couple of Fridays, I believe.
Okay, then I can go next Friday.
So yeah, July and August, I'll be DJing Fridays at Molly's. And I do have a party on Saturday that I'm DJing.
What kind?
I don't know. I think it's just a party.
Just a party.
Yeah.
I like that. Summer party.
It's just a summer party.
I will say I experienced some other DJ work this past Thursday. I went line dancing.
Oh.
He looked miserable, just saying. Like he
at Joyland?
Yeah. Like, so I started going to Joyland at like 20 when it was down on.
Well, there's been like 3 or 4 different locations of Joyland.
The first one was
the
down
first
on
one was actually was part of a hotel.
No, it was it was before that. I went to the hotel one. So we started. Did it start at the hotel and then go to 14th Street? Or was it 14th Street?
I don't know.
Where
I wasn't old enough yet for the hotel.
Okay. So it started at like this big barn type thing on 14th Street, I do believe. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. But I used to go there, and then the DJ sat in the bird's nest up top.
Okay. All right. So let me just give you the rendition that I know.
Okay. And then we were at the hotel.
The hotel?
At Ringling. over by Ringling.
Yeah, over by Ringling Museum. Or
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was the
college.
hotel, and then after that, they moved north. It was off of 41. Yeah, off of 41.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the cross
Okay,
streets.
so I
but
guess
it
we're
was
talking about the Big Red Barn.
The Big Red Barn.
Okay,
that
so
was
I guess it was
the most recent one.
hotel. Okay, so hotel Big Red Barn.
Big Red Barn, yes.
I partied at
that
the
place
hotel.
was huge.
Yeah, it was. I partied at the hotel with those DJs. I'm okay. I visited. I shouldn't say partied, but I went there. It was at the hotel, and then it was on 41. So I've experienced all of them, and I will say that I miss the older, like not older. I miss the vibe DJs, like the ones that really just.
Well, all right. So yeah. So now it was at the Big Red
different.
Barn, and then now it moved, and it's on University. It's in like North Sarasota, Bradenton.
Lockwood Ridge.
It's University and Lockwood Ridge.
Next to like Floor and Decor.
Floor and Decor, yeah. But they are new owners,
Yeah.
and so Joyland. It's called Joyland Live. So it's not Joyland Country Music anymore. They're trying to give it more of a diverse group of people.
Was diverse on Thursday.
Well, Thursday is specifically for country music. Then I think Tuesday is like Latin nights. Wednesday is another
Really?
thing. Friday is supposed to be live music. Saturdays, it's just, So they want to, so it's called Joyland Live, and they've kind of changed the vibe a little bit. That's why.
Okay, so that's why. That explains it.
Yes.
So I take that comment back. But he still didn't look so happy.
When it comes, and so the DJ is not the same as it was at the Joyland
They were
at the
like
Big Red
more
Barn.
hype. Like they would like.
Oh yeah.
Like it was just more like interactive. Like
Very-
this
yes.
guy sat up there with like his beanie pulled down to like right here,
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
and he just so whatever. But it was a diverse crowd. I will say I was there for ladies' night. That guy. So you get in free, all the good stuff, and then at one point, and I don't know that many line dances, but once I get out there and I start doing it, I'm good. Don't ask me to. As soon as the song ends, I don't remember
Right,
how
of
to
course.
do it
No,
because
that's
I
fair.
just did it once. But at some point, I feel like they opened up the doors and dumped 150 sweaty people into one space.
Well, again, it is
because it was packed, it was hot, it was sweaty.
it is much smaller than the Big Red Barn
it was
up
it was
in
interesting.
Bradenton on off of 41. It's much smaller.
But it was fun.
But because it's the big location, it was huge, and they could
Yeah.
barely fit like this. It feels packed now, but if it was at the
It
other
felt small.
location, it would be like there's nobody here.
Yeah.
So I understand.
But there's not. I feel like there's got to be like a count of people you can have in that building because you can't.
Well, that's true too.
dance.
But when you get to like a country bar like that,
Yeah.
there's really no DJing. You become a jukebox. It's all
Oh.
requests. So there's no actual DJing. It's just the quote unquote DJ
Yeah.
is literally just a human jukebox and just like setting up a list of music from all the lessons,
Gotcha.
and then that people are requesting songs, and like there's really no point there. I guess later in the night when it gets to like 11:30, 11:30 and
15, it
12
started being a
midnight
little more
area,
dance.
they'll start to add a little bit more of like hip hop.
Yes.
And what Joey did really well with, like he would at times he would bring his actual controller, because there's actually no like DJ controller, it's just the software. So he would actually bring his DJ controller and he would actually DJ, but it would be for like 10 minutes before the line dancers would start to get really pissy, and they were like, yo, we're here to line dance. This isn't a club. I'm like, well, it is a club. It's a country club, like country venue. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were like getting down over here, like in the corner,
Yeah.
because we didn't know the dance. So we were like having our own little dance party in the corner while everybody else was
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to line dance. But I mean, it was packed.
Oh, yeah. Joyland, I mean,
was-
Joyland is really, it was packed when I stopped
Yeah.
teaching. And it's, when White Buffalo Saloon was open, that place was insane. And it was just really cool to see that place just grow from like day one, because I was there from day one teaching, and like just to watch
Yeah.
line dancing in this community really just take off was really cool.
I feel like that dance floor was pretty.
It was bigger.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was
nice
bigger.
Size. It
The
didn't
layout there
drown.
was kind of weird, especially for if you were doing like live concerts, which they did every now and then.
Oh, because it was.
It was just a weird setup.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's that.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's what we're doing. We're actually going out and having fun and
yeah. Oh yeah.
experiencing music.
Yeah. We're
So yeah.
Yeah, you mean because we don't have weddings?
Because we don't have
Yeah,
weddings.
we actually get to go out and enjoy the town.
I actually have 2 events coming up the first weekend in August.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a graduation party and I have an engagement party.
At the
back
retreat.
tonight, 4th and 5th. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
I'm so excited for it.
Yeah. I just have
The
like
indoors.
a regular. I just have I just have a party. I
Fun.
don't even know what it's just. They're like,
Just hey, we're
just,
hiring you.
hey,
to
we're having a
party.
party. All right, cool. And then I do have a couple. So then in August, I believe I have 3 weddings coming up.
Indoor.
Indoor, yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I do actually have. I take that back. I have a ceremony coming up on the beach.
Are you doing that with Stephanie Arias?
What, the ceremony?
The ceremony. She and I had a conversation this past week at Swell. And by the way, Swell was amazing. So if you are in the industry and you are from this area or living in this area or doing business here, Swell is a great group. We did it was an Indian wedding setup.
Okay.
And it was it was Indian food. It was henna, and mine's washed off now. But they had a DJ, but then they had live musicians, and they had the whole entire setup of what it would look like for an Indian wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was like, this food is too spicy. And I was like, ooh, I'm loving this. But it was really well attended. It was at the Vinoy.
Yes, the Vinoy is beautiful.
Will say that there was one bartender in like the pre area, like that first area where you first walk in before you go down the stairs into the big ballroom. There was one bartender working the bar. It took me 35 minutes to get a drink. And then there was one bar, and then they opened up the curtains and you went inside and there was one bartender.
Yeah.
So I get that they're like, participating in this for free, because we all come together and we promote each other and support each other in that way. And
Who's participating in this for free?
Vinoy.
Okay.
I don't know the business inner workings, but when I've hosted them, we didn't pay anyone anything, and nobody paid us to be the venue host.
But I'm sure.
I mean, the Vinoy has to pay their staff, so that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying I don't think they had 2 bartenders at each bar, maybe because of that. But honestly, the line for drinks was like, it was really, really long. And but that was the only thing. It just took a while for that. But I think it's because it was highly, highly attended. I saw people that haven't attended like a Swell event in forever. So it was a great networking time. So if you're not a part of that, join.
Well, no,
or come as a guest here and there.
Who was it that you spoke with about doing the wedding?
Stephanie Arias?
No, the coordinator is Melissa Grady.
Okay. Because Stephanie told me she had a beach wedding coming up and it was ceremony only in Anna Maria. And I was like, wait.
No, this is Longboat.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, that might be Tim's wedding.
And it's on the 29th.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm literally just doing sound from 6:30 to 8:30.
Don't overheat. Stay hydrated.
Yeah. Nope. So yeah, that's. Yeah, July is almost over, but you know what's really
it's
cool?
Crazy. What's
Yes.
cool? What's up? What's up?
Football season's right around the corner.
It is.
I'm so excited.
Wait,
But
end of August, early September.
August starts
Are we doing preseason?
training camp. Yeah, preseason. Yeah, they do like 3
They
games.
do. I was gonna say they shortened it. Didn't
Yeah,
they?
they do 3 games, and it's like once August hits, then it's go time, and then September is when the season starts, and then we get into wedding season, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Is our top memorable moments or top memorable weddings that we've been a part of.
Good, bad, and ugly, or just all good?
No, good, bad, ugly.
Yes.
Let's hear it all.
Yeah.
Why was it good, bad, or ugly? And
Yeah.
do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first? What are your thoughts? Like what? And we want to explain. We want to talk about why these particular weddings were memorable.
Yeah.
And what your takeaways were from it, and what you should do, what you should not do, and so forth.
So yeah, I'll go first. So I'm going to lead with the time that I was an officiant.
Okay.
So it was a St. Patrick's Day wedding. I'm still Facebook friends with this couple. They just had their 2nd child, and with the mom of the bride. And so they're from Ohio. Go Buckeyes. OHIO.
No.
Yep. So we really bonded over that. I just loved them. They're such a great couple. So it was a St. Patrick's Day wedding, and I remember like all the decor. It was like super simple, just sea glass, like a lot of like, beachy style to it. And then at rehearsal, I can't remember. Yeah, he came to rehearsal. The officiant came to rehearsal, and he was like a long bearded kind of like biker style kind of guy. I'm like, and he rode in on a bike. Okay, cool. My mom was a biker mama. My stepdad was I love motorcycles. So I'm cool with it, right? So we do rehearsal. Next day comes, and we're about an hour out, and I'm like, all right, the officiant isn't here. That's fine. 45 minutes is about 45 minutes or 30 minutes is fine. So we get down to like 30 minutes, and I'm like, he's still not here.
And you haven't heard from him?
Haven't heard from him. The mom had called him. No answer.
Okay.
I called. No answer. We probably called, like we were all taking turns just calling him for probably 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden he picked up the phone on my call.
Oh.
And it sounded like he fell off of a couch.
Oh, no.
It sure did. I have a visual of what I think happened. So that's what I'm going to just share. I feel like he was passed out on the couch and heard his phone, fell off the couch, got the phone, was like, hey, yeah, what's up? I was like, so you're supposed to officiate a wedding in 10 minutes. You're late.
Did you say that to that person?
Yes.
And what did this person
say? He goes,
say?
oh, I'm on my way, my alarm or something. I wasn't feeling good.
No excuses.
I was like, I need you here now.
Yeah.
How fast? And I put on my mama voice. How fast can you get here? Oh, I live like 30 minutes away. Okay, 30 minutes? Great.
Work.
I need you here. You need to show up. The other caveat to it is that he had the grandfather's stole that was, because they were Irish. And so it's this big like banner. It's like wide and it just wraps around, that goes around their neck, and it's a stole, I guess that's what it's called. But it has like the family's crest and monogram and all this stuff on it that he was supposed to wear for the ceremony, and like this white outfit and all that. Like he's Irish officiant. He's supposed to do this whole thing, right? So then the mom's like, we can't wait. I was like, okay, plan B. So Sherry was there for this wedding. She was just dropping in. She wasn't planning it or anything like that. She wasn't part of the planning team. She was just dropping in to see how things were going. And the mom's like, I have the whole entire ceremony printed and I have a copy. And I was like, okay. She goes, who's good at cold reading? So they almost chose the maid of honor, except then we realized she was already too tipsy.
Oh, no.
It was not good. And in my head, I was like, this is not good. This is not a good choice. And then we were trying to figure out who could do it that is a notary. I'm not a notary. And I was like, all right, well, we can do the ceremony and we can notarize later. Like, we can figure that part out right now. We're at this point, because it took so long to get home, we're probably already 30 minutes behind, like 15 to 20 minutes behind. And he's another 30 minutes. So I'm like, that's a 45. We can't do that. So mom's like, are you good at cold read? I said, let me grab my heels. I went out to my car. I always keep a pair of heels in my car, always. Put on my heels. She gave me the script. It was almost 10 pages long.
Holy cow.
It was intense.
Sheesh.
And she sat in the front row.
Okay.
And followed along page by page by page. And I did not skip a page, a word, a sentence at all. Mm-hmm. And then towards the end, and nobody knew, like audience didn't know, nobody knew but us. And we were like, all right, we're just going to run this shit, right? We're just going to do it. Mm-hmm. So I'm up there, and then all of a sudden I see him from the corner of my eye to my left. And I was like, and then I said, okay, we're good. And then it was a prayer. So I introduced us into the prayer. Everybody bowed their heads or whatever. He came up and he said the prayer. I pointed to the paper, say this. Pointed to the paper. He started speaking. I stepped off to the side. So when everybody opened their eyes and looked up, he was standing there. Everybody,
it was like a magic act.
Everybody thought it was like, whoa. Like they got a real Irishman officiant to do the last Irish prayer. It was like literally an Irish blessing prayer at the end. And in my head, I was like, I think he has to say this because I think this has to make it official because he needs to notarize this and he has to say something, I think, like by law. So I was like, say this. Yeah. And everybody thought it was like, what was supposed to happen. And then slowly, and then afterwards, I said, you need to sign this paper, you need to stamp it, you need to give him the stole, and you need to disappear as quickly as possible. I gave him that speech, and he's like, okay. I was like,
was he a young guy?
No. Oh. He was probably in his 50s.
Okay.
Which is to me is young.
I mean, it's young, but not like 20s, 30s,
no,
or 40s. Yeah.
Not like where you should have been crap-faced.
Yeah.
You maybe you are crap-faced at 50. Maybe it was a pre-St. Patty's Day gathering the night before. Yeah. But I will never forget that until this day. Like, I get a Facebook memory that pops up because, the photographer in the photo is that time that I officiated a wedding.
But you know what? And that's why, one, you hire a wedding planner.
Yes.
And that's why you hire Brandy, because Brandy goes above and beyond, and that's why you should not fucking retire. God.
Okay. Hey, I'm gonna unretire.
Thank
you. Officially.
That you heard it here to the tens of people who listen to this podcast.
10 plus
Y'all
2.
have heard it. Brandy is unretiring, and we're gonna.
Yes, I'm for hire. Just do it.
For hire.
Why not?
Brandy
It's
Harlan.
fun. I do miss
I'm
it.
going to make you a website,
Okay, go for it.
and I'm gonna.
He's got plenty of content. Let me tell you.
I do.
I do.
I do.
So
Right.
yeah, so that was one of my favorite.
Well, we're gonna stay on the Irish side of things.
Okay, let's do it.
So I did a wedding a couple of years ago at the Powell Crosley, one of my favorite venues. Love it there. And this is during a ceremony as well. It was. I'm not even going to mention the people or the wedding planner, but it was this.
He's like, how do I do this?
Well, no. All right. So the couple, I actually know them, or I know the groom from like back in the day, like high school days.
Oh, okay.
Like we're not like super close, but like
Acquaintances.
yeah, acquaintances. And he was like, "Hey, I want you to DJ our wedding," and blah blah blah. So yeah, they hired me. And as we're going through the planning process, she said, "Hey, we have bagpipes for the ceremony.
Oh yeah.
But in case that falls through, here are some, music selections that we want for the recessional and so forth." I said, "Okay," or for the processional, for when the bride walks down, the bridal party, the bride, and then at the end of everything. So I was like, "Perfect. I'll have that on standby." But I have a mic here, so I had sound out there regardless. So I was like, "I have no problem if for some reason I get like the message to play music for some odd reason because somebody didn't show up." And I don't know why they felt that they needed to give me this information, but I guess the communication that they had with this bagpiper hadn't been great. So I'm trying to recall what happened, but I believe the bagpipes played for the something happened to where I think the bagpipe, he didn't play the music that he was supposed to.
Oh.
And then he ended up not even playing the recessional. And so, he was there.
He just stood there?
He wasn't really doing much.
He wasn't bagpiping.
He wasn't. And so I'm just like, "You may now kiss your bride." And everybody goes crazy. Woo! And they're kissing. And then at that point, for the first time today, we'd like to announce you as Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. And then cue music.
Right.
Or bagpipe.
And now it's crickets.
And clapping. And I'm looking, I'm like, music, bagpipe, blow, play.
Blow.
Do your thing.
Push the buttons. Something.
Do something. And nothing, he was just chilling. I'm like, okay, play. So I ended up playing with the song that I had on cue just in case. And they walked down and everything was fine. But the crazy thing is, I feel like the wedding planner went over to the bagpiper, started talking to him, I'm really bad at telling stories, but
this is story day on podcast, and he tells me this.
Yeah, but no, the craziest part of this whole thing is the bagpipe guy messed up. He didn't do his job, and he was supposed to play, I think, during cocktail hour as well.
Oh,
and he was really bad. He just was not good at all. He had to take. He played for I think 10 or 15 minutes during cocktail hour. And was running out of breath, which again I can't imagine what it's like to play the bagpipes. I've never played it.
Yeah,
but I imagine it takes.
You played trumpet though.
I played trumpet, so I understand a little bit.
It's still the same kind of breath management,
right? But he would take breaks and he would stop playing, and there would just be no music. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then he was like, "You know what? I'm done for the day." He went up to the planner and was like, "I'm done. I'm not feeling well. I'm gonna go, but I would like to collect my check, please."
Oh no, that's
not
happening.
The planner was like, "Excuse me," to the point where there was almost a like yelling match going on. And I was like, I'm going to turn up the music. You guys see nothing, hear nothing. And then like the bride came over and was like, they were going at it. And I was like, okay, you done pissed off the bride.
Oh yeah, you're in trouble. You ain't getting paid.
And apparently he had a couple drinks during, like while he was supposed to be playing, he went and grabbed a couple drinks during like a break. It was really weird. Just don't do that.
Yeah. What is it with Irish weddings?
I don't know. And bagpipers
And Irish officiants.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but the rest of that wedding went well, and the couple was like super happy. Like you completely saved the day with the music. Like, I'm so glad that we had that on like as a standby.
Yeah.
And I was ready to go. I was like, I'm gonna press it.
Right. I felt the same. Like to this day, they're like, you did that thing and you saved it. And it was funny because as it kind of got rumored around throughout the night, I would get stopped and be like, wait, you weren't the officiant? But you did that so well. Like you just kind of popped in and did the thing. And I was like, 10 whole pages.
Yeah.
I think there was maybe a couple pages she let me skip. But other than that, it was like literally stapled at the top, white paper, 10 whole pages that I just kept flipping through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in this case, there was like a verbal fight going on, and it was just bad. But luckily, like people were most of the guests were kind of like in a separate area.
Yeah.
To where they didn't really see it or hear it, but it was definitely memorable for me, and I'm sure for the couple. But they were, I got another one. But
I'm gonna go off of your verbal altercation.
Okay. We have altercation now. Okay.
We have verbal altercations. So I had a couple that were getting married, and they did the timeline in such a way that I didn't agree, but the reason they explained it made sense. So they wanted an intimate ceremony with just a certain number of people, like maybe 20 people. And so we did that, and then we had cocktail hour afterwards where all the guests were to show up at cocktail. Basically, they would go to cocktail and reception. They weren't a part of actually watching the ceremony because they wanted that to be more private. So, okay, cool, not a problem. I don't have control over what they told the other guests, the time on the invitation to be there, right? Mm-hmm. All I have control over is what time they said to me, this is what time we want to do ceremony. This is what time cocktail hour will start. So just for argument's sake, we'll say ceremony was at 5:30 and cocktail hour was at 6. Well, I guess you didn't tell the guests to come until 7 or like 6:30, 6:45. It was like almost 45 minutes. Ceremony took maybe 15, 20. Bride was a little too tipsy to even really finish photos. She'd been drinking a lot right before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. To the point where it got, the photographer was like, I had to end the session early because it was getting a little spicy. He was like, I was uncomfortable.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So that all happened. And so cocktail hour starts, right? Catering's taking food out. The bar is open. And there's like 7 or 8 people for about 45 minutes. And those people aren't very happy because it's appetizers. They're starving at this point.
Sure.
So now it's almost 7 o'clock and people are starting to come. So before that happened though, the mom of the bride, she's like, I don't understand. What is going on? There's no food out there. I was like, well, there's food right there going with the catering company out there. She goes, well, I don't understand. Why is not everybody here? And I was like, I didn't design the invitation, so I don't know what time she told everybody to come out. Like, because she wanted an intimate ceremony, and then she had, everybody else come after the fact. I go, let me have her come out and mingle with the people that are here. So maybe it was like 15, 20 people. So I was like, maybe that'll help if they come out and they mingle with everybody and they kind of like keep the attention off of the fact that there's 20 people and you've been waiting around for 45 minutes. She refused to leave the bridal suite. She's like, no, I'm comfortable. I'm having some drinks in here. She didn't want to go out there.
Okay.
Like, okay, so now what? I was like, so I told Mom, I was like, well, this is what your daughter designed with me. This is what she told me she wanted. So if you have any questions or have an, opposite opinion, she's in the bridal suite. You can go talk with her.
Yeah.
So then catering's going by her. So it's me, the photographer, and a caterer taking food over to the cocktail hour. She grabs the arm of the catering person and starts yelling. Oh, yeah. What are you doing? There's no food out there. This is not satisfactory. Nobody knows what they're eating, blah, blah. She goes, ma'am, if you don't take your hand off of me.
Was this at Mixon's?
It was.
Was I at this wedding? I feel like I was. Now this is like all hitting me.
I'll have to tell you after.
Wasn't Cornerstone the?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I don't remember the actual the couple, but I do remember this.
Yeah. And so she grabs the catering person by the arm, and it was one of their. I mean, she was. You don't
mess with Cornerstone.
No, none of them. You just don't.
No.
You don't touch any of us, really.
Right.
And so I said, ma'am, and so I saw I'm not going to name her out, but she looked at the lady and she's like, you need to take your hand off of me. And I looked at her and I said, please do not touch any of the staff. We are doing our best job for you.
Yeah.
And we are giving you 110% based on what your daughter arranged. So if you don't like it, go speak with her.
In the bridal suite.
In the bridal suite, where she refuses to leave.
Yeah.
So that all happened. And then she's like walking around telling people that we're not doing our jobs, that we're making this day awful. Like she is just steady going by, just making, and I'm just... being a duck, like ignore it, ignore, right? And I remember it was a little chilly and I'm trying to get the heaters on and one was malfunctioning, right? So I'm trying to do the heater. She comes up behind me and slightly walks by me and whispers, if the heaters aren't working, I'm not paying for them. This is awful. And I'm like, oh my gosh. This lady has done, she had done several things before that. I think one of the other staff members actually had to get, she was yelling at me and he came up and was like, ma'am, if you continue to talk to any of our staff like this, we will shut this wedding down. Mm. And so it was
and the DJ will go home early.
And she kind of just walked away. She kept just
nitpicking,
doing that, right? Mm-hmm. And just putting that in there to the point where after she walked by, I saw her go over by the water fountain. I pulled her aside. I said, I will no longer let you talk to anyone or treat anyone else on this staff the way that you've been treating them. If I have to deal with you one more time, I will shut this whole entire thing down. I do not care. Your daughter is still in the bridal suite. She does not care to come out. And this is just not going to happen anymore. And I don't appreciate you going around telling guests that we're not doing our job. Mm-hmm. And then the father came by. He goes, I'm so sorry. She's I was
going to say, I felt like at some point there was a time where somebody came in and apologized to you and actually was like, you handled yourself greatly. And
because I got to the point where I was I was so mad that I was in tears.
Yeah.
I was that angry that I went to the kitchen after I said that to her because I was just done with her. I think it was even in August or something. I mean, I don't know when it was, but we had heaters. So, it was in January. It was on my son's 18th birthday, on his actual 18th birthday. So I was missing his...
3 years ago?
So it was his 17th birthday, so 3 years ago.
Okay.
So it was it was actually on his birthday, and we didn't have anything planned until the next day. But here I am, giving 110%. Everybody is. They're all trying to do their best. And this woman was just making it awful. I'm like, I did not miss my son's birthday to be here for you.
Nope.
So that's what, and then at the end of the night, she was fine. She had a few drinks.
Yeah, I feel like.
And the daughter this was also when... the dancing on the dance floor, when she let it all hang out on the dance floor too in her dress, the bride did. I'm gonna have to remind you afterwards. Yeah, she was so tipsy. And then they did shots during the middle of the ceremony. You're not supposed to do shots. That was on the side of confrontation. That's one of many times people felt like it was their day when they only showed up that day and they didn't show up during any of the planning process. So
sure.
If anybody's helping you pay for your wedding or your event and they feel like they have a real estate in it and they have a say, have them come to meetings.
Yeah, there you go.
Because then come day of, they really don't have a leg to stand on because planners are going to do what you already discussed.
True.
So there's that.
I have another ceremony saga.
Yeah? What's up?
Bradenton.
Uh-oh.
At an Airbnb.
Oh.
And I think you remember, this was a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go ahead and just announce I believe it's called Shangri-La.
Shangri-La, yeah.
Shangri-La in Bradenton.
Are they still open and stuff?
Yes, I have one coming up.
Oh, boy.
And every time I have a couple that reaches out to me, I have a video on this. And I think we've talked about it a couple times on this podcast.
Yes.
But this one definitely stands out. Chainsawing wood in the middle of April during the ceremony.
I just can't even believe,
So, it's a beautiful day in April.
In the neighborhood.
It is in the neighborhood, yes. And this particular Airbnb, it's pretty big, and they have like a a pavilion area for like tables, and that's where the DJ setup was, and then they have like an open field, like right on, like kind of towards water.
Yeah. And the house like sleeps like 16
something
or 20
like that.
or
Yeah.
something like that. It's crazy.
So getting everything set up, it's hot out as balls out. And I'm in direct sunlight, and I'm playing music, getting ready for ceremony. There's no planners. So I'm basically become the planner.
Congratulations.
Or the coordinator, I should say at this point, not the planner, the coordinator at this point. So I get the thumbs up. I'd say to the family, the groom, the bridal party, and the bride, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go down. I'm going to start playing your songs, the processional for the bridal party. When I give you the thumbs up, start walking. So I walk down, start playing. I already had like background music playing.
Yeah.
I gave the family a thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
And started their song, and they start walking down.
Yay.
It's beautiful. It's nice.
Aww.
Everything's great. It's hot, though. It's okay because it's Florida.
Yeah.
And the bride's ready to, and you can kind of see her at like the top of where the house is, and you're kind of going downhill. So I fade out the bridal party processional, and then I transition into the bride's processional.
Mm-hmm.
Give her the thumbs up. As she starts walking down, and I turn up that song, because usually when I play the bride's processional, I turn up the music. Like I turn it up more than what it was, just so like, all right, like shit's going down, it's happening.
Big deal.
As I do that, no sooner does the neighbor 2 houses down start chainsawing wood.
Like they just had wood ready to go.
They were waiting for this bride to start walking down the aisle. And I like look back. I was like, okay, like they'll stop. It's fine. They'll see like, the ceremony's going on. And so she walks down. I turn down the music. They get up to the altar. Fishian starts talking. Still going. Like just going hard on this wood. And I'm like, what in the world?
Like they're taking the long way around the wood.
Yeah. And so like I'm like waving to them, just trying to get their attention.
Yeah.
And there were 4 people out there. At this, like, there was 2 houses down. There was 4 people, 2 in lawn chairs, and then 2 other working on the wood. And so, like, myself and there was, I think, like 2 photographers. One of the photographers, like, I was trying to get their, like, the neighbor's attention. I'm like, hey,
can we pause?
And they looked up at me and they gave me a thumbs up. I was like, okay, cool. They're gonna stop. 2 minutes later, they go again. I'm like, what the? So I start running, like, you can't, because there's like a fence and you have to go around, but there's water, like the whole, you couldn't really get over there. So I'm trying to get over to talk to the guys. I'm like, excuse me, hello. And they look over, and I was like, can you give us 5 minutes? Just 5 minutes. They're going to get through this ceremony. We'll be done. Then you can continue chainsawing your wood, and we'll be done. But if you could just give us 5 more minutes, they're almost done with the ceremony. And he looks at me. He's like, nope, that's okay. You just continue doing you, and we're going to do us.
Oh, my God.
I said, can you just, like, stop?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. He's like, nope.
Oh, my gosh.
And so for the remainder of the entire ceremony, you hear the background music of chainsawing.
Oh, my gosh.
And apparently I found out that these neighbors are notorious for this because they hate it when this
the venue didn't say anything?
Well, it's an Airbnb, so it's not like they host weddings there. But yeah, the venue won't say anything. So anytime I hear anytime somebody reaches out to me,
by the way,
they're like, "Oh, we're getting married at Shangri-La in Bradenton." I'm like, "Don't."
Yeah. I mean, because...
And I was like, you know what? Fine. If you're going to be that way, that's cool, because I'm going to blast my music right in your face. And I did.
Payback.
That's right. And it was loud. And I made sure it was done by 10, because that's where the noise ordinance is.
Like, I'm going to be really loud, but
Until
I'm done
10. At 10. But yeah, the guy was a complete douche.
Like,
and
I don't even understand. Like, if they're not allowed to do that, then follow the proper channels.
Well, it's not that they're not. You mean to have the wedding there?
Yeah, but they're just agitated
They're just mad
by it.
Yeah, they're just mad about
and
it.
And it's like,
so
I bet you he's grumpy and has no love in his life.
Well, you know what? They had beers out there, and they were planning this.
Oh, they were ready.
They knew this was happening. So, anytime a couple reaches out and says, "Oh, we're getting married at Shangri-La. It's this cute little Airbnb," I'm like, it is cute, but just beware. And I send them the video because I have this video of the whole thing, and I'm like, just beware that this could potentially happen to you.
And when is your next one there?
I don't know, but
I want to be there.
I've had a couple. One of my other DJs, Jeremy, was there one time, and he didn't mention anything happening. So maybe they were out of town or they weren't home. I don't know, but
they have lives other than ruining weddings.
Yeah, but the couple was fine. They were fun.
Yeah,
had a good time.
So back to the happy thoughts. Some of the weirdest, not really weirdest, but most unique ways that I've had brides arrive.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Memorable.
So I had a bride who, there's a couple don'ts in this story and a couple do's. So she was, her family's from Miami. And so they brought those econo van, those gray econo vans, and they rented all the plates and silverware from Miami.
Okay.
And brought it up to the wedding. And then they only had me for limited, so I didn't have to do any of the decorating, and they left all the guys to do the decorating, which is not to say the guys can't. However, when it's for 200 people,
you don't want guys to do it.
It's 3 guys, and they don't know what they're doing.
And it was
quite the mess.
We lack detail.
Well, and they really tried. There was a few things that caused it to be issues. So the fact that they brought everything from Miami, and then they ordered all the flowers from Miami, and then they ran late. So literally flowers were getting put on tables during ceremony, but she did arrive in this horse-drawn carriage.
Yes.
So that was very Cinderella, but she was a tough cookie bride. They did not get out on time, and then they expected to wash all the dishes before they put them in the van that night. How about they had us on property until 2 a.m. trying to clean up and wash dishes and rinse them off in the back water hose area? Don't do that, but do arrive with a horse-drawn carriage.
Arrive in fashion.
Yeah.
You can also exit in fashion.
You can too.
And
the motobike. Do you remember that one? Daniel and Davina. Oh my gosh.
No.
I don't know if you were at that wedding, but they're so
Davina,
stupid cute. Davina and Vreeman. I love them to death. One of my favorite couples. And so to go from that to this, she had 3 dress changes. She's from Cambodia. So, and literally she spent less than $200 on all of her outfits. She had 3 changes. So she had her wedding outfit, she had her Cambodian outfit, which he had a matching one, and then she had her exit outfit with leather jacket.
Nice.
And they rode off on a moped.
Oh my God.
It was awesome. And the pictures are fabulous.
Oh my gosh,
there's
I'm sure.
There's sparklers behind them.
Oh,
and she's
yeah.
got this biggest smile, and so does he. And she's peeking around the back in her leather jacket
That's
with her
cool.
little white dress. It was awesome.
I love the idea of dress changes or
Yeah, she had 3. And she's just a thrifty, she's a tiny frame. So I imagine it was hard for her to find things. But
I'm sure.
Every outfit that she put on was immaculate, beautiful, gorgeous, and less than $200. And then they took off on a moped.
Yeah. So yeah, highly recommend dress changes, or guys too. If you want to do a change, feel free, or get into something a little bit.
Did you see
bring out some more swagger? But
did you see the one at Mixon where the guy had his Adidas tracksuit and then he ripped it off and then rapped a Christian song? That happened.
No kidding. I was the DJ.
You were the DJ. I forgot.
Gosh. Do you remember? I had to create some of the damn mixes.
I wasn't even there. I just heard about it.
Yeah. You probably heard it from me.
Probably.
Oh my god.
So there's your guy change into something Adidas rip away.
Well, he was
breakdancing.
He was breakdancing, and
yeah.
Honestly, he wasn't that great.
wasn't.
But he
tried.
He did. He killed it. And you know what? He was fun to work with. He was fun to work with.
Memorable. That's what we're talking about.
He basically was like, "Bride, I don't want you to do anything. I'm taking care of this wedding planning."
Got this.
I don't think I talked to the bride once.
And she had an idea from what I think
she was
he
like,
said.
yeah,
she had an idea. I think he's gonna do this.
But as far as exiting, cool exits, this was a few years ago at Rafter J Ranch, which is no longer doing weddings.
Oh.
But they had an old school like Ford truck,
Oh yeah.
like a 1940s Ford truck. And I think one of their family members owns a fireworks store.
Oh gosh.
And not fireworks. They had like some pyrotechnics.
Pyrotechnics, yeah.
And they had these professional. I mean, I have professional grade, like fire.
Cold sparks.
Thank you. Good Lord, cold sparks. But these are not indoor safe. And they had, I think, 6 or 8 in a row, and this is like, and luckily there's a big yard, like big air, like grassy area in front of the barn at Rafter J Ranch.
Yeah.
And so for the exit, they had me playing some music, and then they did the final exit where they got in the truck, and it was great for photos and video. I have some of the photos still. Again, this is a few years ago, and as they're exiting, these 8, so 4 on each side, 8 huge, just like sparklers or like fire, like just going off, and it's like higher than the truck, like it's just super high, and they're gone. It was insane. Like that was really cool.
Great.
I don't think you wouldn't be able to get that same effect with like cold spark effects because I don't think they go as high. But these were like professional, like theatrical grade,
like
like pyrotechnics. I mean, some concerts still like use cold spark effects, but anyway, these were insane. These are like next level, not something for an indoor, anything like that. Just recently had a couple leaving and like they rented a Ferrari.
Because you can on Turo.
Yeah, they rented a Ferrari and for their to leave in.
Yeah,
and he wanted to because he's a huge. I remember the groom was a huge car guy. And he rented this.
I love that.
Yeah,
and that's a great surprise too, right? So you can do that for your partner.
Yeah,
and be like, okay, I'm renting through Turo this car for the weekend or whatever it might be, and then you get it and have somebody else pick it up for you or whatever, and it just be ready and waiting. I think that's really cool. I've seen quite a few people leave in just different vintage vehicles. I feel like that's always a question. People are always like looking for people that have vintage cars to use. I know I had one for my wedding, and it was through my chiropractor. It was and he just happened to have a red Volkswagen.
Oh, okay.
And so it was wonderful.
Was it a bug?
It was.
Was it a Volkswagen bug?
It was. But the problem is,
oh no,
herein lies the problem.
That's the problem in general.
No,
it's a bug.
It was. I love Volkswagen bugs. That's
Continue.
my dream like car. Eventually, I'll have one. Okay. So the problem is my dad was supposed to like take me from the hotel to the venue, which was the Bishop at the time. It was South Florida Museum where I got married.
Mm-hmm.
Except my dad was too tall to drive the bug
because it's little.
Because it's very little. And so the guy had to like drive it over and park it in front of the venue, and then I sat in it like sideways because I couldn't even get in it without just like stuffing myself in. I didn't realize how small they were when I straightened all this up. So we looked like he was opening my door and like taking my hand to help me out of the car. So if you didn't know this story, you would think that, oh, she arrived in a Volkswagen Bug. No, I just posed with one, and then he drove it off. Because it was it was what it was. So I do have that archived in my memories from my wedding. But yeah, I think that's cool. Another great thing.
Oh, okay.
You got one?
I do.
Go for it. You're itching. Go for it.
I am, because it's also at Rafter J Ranch.
Okay.
Which is, I'm pretty sure they
I
stopped.
think they're done.
And we've talked about this one before.
Okay.
During introductions, again, Rafter J Ranch is a very country. It's a barn. It's a beautiful barn, actually. Beautiful barn. I've done many weddings there. And I've never been more scared in my life.
What?
Yes. Alyssa Sue was the photographer. I forget who was doing video. And I can't remember who the planners were. But for some reason, I remember Alyssa Sue being the photographer. Mm-hmm. And I remember going and setting everybody up for intros. And as I'm going around the corner, like the barn doors are closed, so everybody's inside. Oh, now they're all sitting down. Mm-hmm. I had everybody take their seats. I was like, all right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family. I hope you guys are enjoying cocktail hour. We're going to ask everybody to go ahead and take your seats. Get those last drinks. Grand introductions are about to begin in just a few moments. Make that announcement.
Perfect.
Go around, get everybody set up. As I go around the corner, I see the bridesmaids. I'm like, okay, nothing like they're all in there. Like, feel like they were wearing like blush pink dresses.
Yes, they were.
And so I'm like getting them all set up. Like, all right, here's how you, because it was bridesmaids were coming out, and then the groomsmen were coming out there as a group each. So they weren't coming out like paired.
Yeah.
So I'm getting them set up, and then I hear the door open from the groom's suite, and the groomsmen are all coming out, and they all have these massive guns. I'm like, whoa, what in the, are those loaded? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, can you please not, like, can you unload them? And I was like, and they had been drinking.
Oh, God.
The bride, I'm pretty sure, was pretty hammered at this point during cocktail hour and before the ceremony started.
Oh, no.
So, like, I was trying to, like, I was, like, dipping and dodging and, like, trying to, like, get away from the pointing of the guns. Like, they were just, and they were all confident with it, but I'm not, you know?
Right? And you're like,
For one, I'm scared shitless with guns. Like, I don't do well with guns. I've shot them, and I've taken courses for them.
You weren't in control of the gun. Everybody
No,
else was,
and
they were drinking,
and the fact
they're
that
loaded. So.
the fact that they were like, yeah, they're loaded. I'm like, can we like not have them loaded?
Like, what's the purpose?
So I was like, all right, you guys are gonna be staying super far away from me. Here's what's gonna happen. So I told them, I was like, brides, you guys are going first. Groomsmen, you're going. Bride's going first. Groomsmen, you're going second. Then little man, this was a do. So don't bring guns. And I don't know how they got this past the venue owners. I don't even
understand.
But again, it's a locally and family owned property. So whatever. So they probably didn't even know. But like all the guns were probably in the groom suite.
Oh, that just gives me shivers.
So don't do that.
Because anybody could have gone in and just said, "Oh, look
and there
at
were
this,
kids
we're
there.
a kid." Yeah.
Yeah, there were kids there, and so don't bring guns. Do, if you have a little man or a little woman, little person, baby,
little cutie
patootie, have them roll in style with one of those
Rolls Royce Escalade.
They had, I believe it was an
it was black.
It was a black SUV of some sort.
Yeah.
And I think the dad just like had the remote control and just like remote controlled him in, and he was just sitting there. He had glasses on. It said ring security. That was cool.
I like that.
And then, of course, I had the bride and groom come in. Cold sparks were going off, and that was cool. But in one of the videos, like as I got video from somebody from the venue, as they took video of the couple being introduced in, and they could see in the video. I guess one of the bridesmaids had like a gun, like a pistol, and she could see that just like whipping it in the air, just like throwing it in there like carelessly as the couple was coming in.
That's awful.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't bring guns to a wedding.
No, there's no reason.
Like I was so uncomfortable to the point where I was like, I don't even want to do this introduction.
Yeah, and then they all just walked in like wielding their guns.
And oh yes, they were like throwing it all up in the air. And like, I'm surprised they just didn't start shooting them, like how they were. And I mean,
that's just
there was probably 6 or 7 groomsmen, and every single one of them had a firearm. And it wasn't just like a pistol; they were
AKs.
I think so.
They were big ones.
They were big.
I could tell in the video.
I don't know.
They were pretty
guns.
They were pretty big.
Not cool, bro.
That's right. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
Don't do it. Scarred for life.
Let's unscar you with another fun story.
Oh, fun story. Okay. We'll wrap it up here shortly, though.
Yeah. Do bring a mariachi band.
Yes, I remember that one.
Yes. So that was our guest.
One of our guests, yeah.
Lucy and Abby.
Yes.
That was a surprise. And so the mariachi
do surprise
band,
your partner.
Yes, that's what
I love that.
Yes, do surprise them. So with a getaway car, with a mariachi band, with their own cake, with a serenade. I've seen people serenade with a break dance. With a break dance. So I guess that's been like the framework for do surprise for a lot of these stories. But yeah, do surprise your partner. Do something that's extra, that's that's nice,
significant
and
to your
that they'll really appreciate.
to your partner, that they that's
and the gift before ceremony, I think, is really touching and sweet. I've seen some really awesome gifts given in exchange from couple to couple. Pre-ceremony, whether it's jewelry, like don't try to do earrings for the girls because normally they already got it already picked out, or a puppy. I don't know where that puppy's gonna be the whole ceremony, but do like a bracelet or something of that nature, or something that's just gonna, something sweet.
We did the bishop wedding ceremony.
Yes.
Do
the treasure box.
chest.
Yes.
The treasure box.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. I still want to
Did you reach out to them?
No, I need to figure out
the script.
The script that she used. Like, I want those words.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Reach out to them.
I'm gonna have to figure out who it was.
Okay.
You have their name. You can look up easier because you were at the bishop.
Okay. Oh, that's true.
Figure out their name, and then I will use my contacts to figure out their contact.
Yes.
Yes. Because I really want us to read like that on air because it was phenomenal.
Yeah. It was
really
just
good.
so cool. All right. Yeah. Homework.
Yes.
We have homework.
We do.
Any other things that you want to mention?
No, I mean, a lot of my weddings have been just super memorable, and I do really miss it. I miss witnessing that love and that joy, and I love what I do at the Retreat Sarasota, and I will obviously still continue that because that's my jam. And I get to be a person that answers. We have a kind line, so in case, and this is just like a little quick PSA out there. So if anybody is struggling with any kind of trauma or vicarious trauma or compassion fatigue, whether you're a helping professional or just a regular person, and you've been through childhood traumas or adult traumas, whatever that looks like for you, we have this thing called a kind line at the Resilient Retreat, which is the nonprofit to the Retreat Sarasota, and you can call and just vent and talk, and we can walk you through that. We can talk you through that. We can empower you and help motivate you and just really validate your feelings and really just kind of get you moving to that next step. I know sometimes there's days where I'm just like, I need to talk to somebody to get me to that next step. Mm-hmm. And I'm surrounded by those people, but knowing that I get to do that now in my new place is really, really awesome. And so I really do enjoy that part of being at the Retreat Sarasota. I do miss the decorating part and the social aspect of planning weddings, though.
I think you should plan on doing 12 weddings a year.
Did you just do some math or something?
No.
12 a year. I could do that.
One a month.
I did 32 in about 6 months.
Right. Well, I'm just saying.
In my retirement year.
Yeah. So
that was a lot.
Well, yeah. But to still be able to enjoy it and not get burnt out.
Yeah.
I feel like we should get you to do one wedding a month.
And I get to be selective.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Well, yeah. We just.
Yeah, definitely.
The couples will reach out to you and like, hey, we want you to, oh, no, I'm not going to do it. But I feel like at some point you'll be like, all right, I'm going to do it. All right, I'm going to do it. Now you're at 52 weddings a year.
He may know this about me. I have a hard time saying no.
I'm the same.
That's why he put me on front and center here.
A lot of wedding professionals in general have a hard time saying no. Like I had to learn
because
that.
We're people pleasers.
Well, but you also like you want the business.
Yeah.
And as when you're building a business, it's like you don't want to say no. You want to figure it out. Yeah. So something that I had to learn the hard way was not every couple or every event or every wedding is good for me, nor am I good for it.
Exactly.
So I would say yes, and then I would be like, I am not right for this particular event.
Yeah, I've done that too, where I've just like, you really, really want to make something happen for somebody and you really want to make it really special. And so you work all the angles, you do all the things, you tie all the loot, like you do all of that.
You also just want the booking.
And you want the booking, but at the same time, those are probably the ones where I got crapped on the most. Like I was mistreated the most. The one, and I can name one specifically, one where a groom literally yelling at me at a decor meeting, telling me either you're not good at what you do or you just don't care. Mm-hmm. And so for me, that was in my retirement year, and I was like, I need to take a break. And that's what I've done. So, and it's been a good year and a half that I haven't planned anything. June was my last wedding. So I think.
Well, then it's been a year and a month.
A year and a month.
A year and a month. Get out of here.
So I think what I've learned in that time frame is that I don't have to work so hard to You know what I mean? Like I'm really good at what I do. I don't have to work so hard to prove it and to make others see it, because if they don't see the value, then it's what it is, because those are the ones that are going to, like, you give them an inch, they take a mile. So I'm selective for sure.
As you should be.
Thanks.
All right.
Yay.
Well, that's going to do it.
That was a great podcast.
That was fun. It was very off the cuff in a sense.
We're going to have our socials up and running like mad.
Yes. Make sure you check us out on Instagram, on Facebook, The Scoop Weddings Unveiled.
Yes.
Look us up. We're going to have all the things. And then make sure we're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We are on all the things. Amazon.
YouTube.
We're on YouTube. Shh.
You know what's really fun?
You can watch the video on there, and you know what? People actually watch them.
You know,
it's so funny.
Last week you said, because I said I don't like listening to my voice, and so I don't re-listen to these. And you were like, I listen to all of them.
I do.
So I was motivated, and I started listening. I re-laugh while listening to us laugh.
Yeah.
I was like, these are really entertaining.
They are.
You make me laugh after the fact. I'm like, so I'll get over not listening to my voice. But I was like laughing right along with us laughing.
Yeah,
so
I do the same thing.
If you need a good laugh, we
and it's funny
because
like even if we go back into like further podcasts from like 20 of them ago, from the beginning, and like you'll be saying something, and I'll be like, oh no, don't do that, and then I'll respond, oh no, don't do that. I'm like, oh shit, okay, like I guess I still think the same way. It's very funny. It's as if it's myself talking.
It's like you're listening to you.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna do it for us.
Yeah, that's it.
This is the Scoop Weddings Unveiled podcast number 27 is complete. Tim Schaus, TLS Entertainment, your premier wedding DJ here in Sarasota, Florida, as well as the DMV region. Yeah. And we've got Brandy Harlan, your non-retired wedding planner. She's coming back, y'all.
Coming back.
That's right. So that's going to do it for us. Podcast number 27. We done.
Peace and chicken grease.
Allah.